What he doesn't realise, of course, is that Kerry wrote it. Or should I say Keza? At this stage, welcome to relay stations right throughout Australia, particularly the relay stations seen in the Channel 7 and Channel 10 boardrooms. You know, tonight is not just a television show, it's many things. It's a celebration, an acknowledgement, and a reunion. It's a celebration to mark and to look back over 25 years of television in Australia. It's an acknowledgement to thousands of people who in that time have contributed to Channel 9, which set out all those years ago on a path that nobody in Australia had embarked on before. Of course, we had the other networks to keep us company. So it's not only Channel 9 celebration, but a celebration for the whole industry. Perhaps most importantly for me, and for so many of you here this evening, it's a chance to have a reunion. This industry, television, requires many talents, many separate and sometimes indefinable qualities. Television is not just what you see on your set at home. It's a mass of people from many areas of expertise combining to bring a finished product to your screen. And like any great and successful industry, the people working at it today in 1981, whether they're a cameraman, a producer, a lighting man, a sound man, stagehand, director, actor or performer, they're here not only because of their ability, they're able to be here as a result of their predecessors, in this case the pioneers of Australian television. Tonight we want to remember, we want to smile, laugh, reminisce, and amid the sophistication of the 80s, look back on the good old days. The cop shows and the pop shows, kid shows and quiz shows, the news and reviews, the top shows and the flop shows. But this reunion is not just for us alone here at Centrepoint. Indeed, the warmest invitation of all is to you. Now, wherever you may be in Australia, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the party. But here's our first commercial break for this evening.
A few little drops of Californian poppy, a few little drops, that's all. It makes your scalp feel nice, it makes your hair look nice, it makes your head smell nice.
You'll find the girls look twice
if you use Californian poppy.
You'll see more of that vintage later in the show. Meantime, we pause for the real thing, 1981 style.
Oi! Do any of your plants look like this, particularly when it's damp?
Then you've got a problem, because this is black spot, one of the many fungus growths that can ruin a plant. Now he's spotted it, and he's putting the Green Elf to work. Green Elf multi-purpose fungicide. That'll take care of this and other fungus problems. What about weeds, you say? Green Elf Weed Killer. No mixing, no fuss. Just spray and the Green Elf will take care of it. Put me to work in your garden. I'll keep your plants healthy.
This car lacks power to overtake safely. This car does it with power to spare. And yet it's the same car after it's been more powered. More power, the most reliable exchange engine because there's no shortcuts on quality. Every engine goes through the More Power remanufacturing process. More Power, the best exchange engine money can buy because there's no shortcuts on quality.
We can all do with more than a wash and brush up, you know. Now, if you want a bit of all-day freshness, there's this blue loo cleaner called Jay's Blue. Just pop it in, so, and the wrapper dissolves. No mess, no fuss. Then every time I flush, I get a foaming blue rinse that works for weeks. I tell you, I feel like a new loo. Jay's Blue is the simplest toilet cleaner yet.
There he goes.
Canon AE1 Plus program. It adjusts itself in a microsecond to capture the action as you see it, automatically, perfectly. Just focus and shoot. The Canon AE1 Plus program. So advanced, so simple.
At 7 o'clock on the 16th of September 1956, Channel 9 Sydney was officially opened and began Australia's first regular daily TV programming. Bruce Gyngell, TV's first program manager, made the opening speech. In Melbourne, we chose a more vice-regal opening, with Managing Director, the late Colin Bednall, welcoming Victoria's very popular Governor, Sir Dallas Brooks and Lady Brooks.
But luckily, our problem is simple to solve. All you've got to do when you are watching or listening is to turn that little switch. And then, if you're not happy with what you're seeing, you don't like it, or it just frankly bores you, put the switch to off.
But not tonight, please. Before that formal opening ceremony in January 1957, Channel 9 Melbourne had already been showing programs regularly for 4 months. Its first on-air announcer is an old and very dear friend of mine and many people here this evening, Jeff Cork.
Tech program from GTV Channel 9. My name is Jeff Cork, and at this moment I'm chatting to you from our transmitting station on the highest peak of Mount Dandenong in the beautiful Dandenong Ranges. This afternoon, we at GTV have a lineup of entertainment that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Excerpts from some of the films that we'll be featuring shortly, plus an entertaining Terry-Toon cartoon, and our full-length feature for today, The Three Texas Steers, starring popular John Wayne.
Jeff Cork is with us this evening. I might mention to you the Three Texas Steers is our prime movie next Sunday evening at 8. You see, Jeff Cork was a former radio man, as was Bruce Gyngell. And it was from radio that TV got many of its earliest stars. A radio top-liner of those days was Bob Dyer.
Folks, here's someone I want you to meet. Of course, you all know that there's been someone behind the scenes doing all the hard work in radio for many years. More years than anyone wants to say, really, right now, but I want you to meet her officially because you'll be seeing a lot of her in television. This is my gal, Dot.
I'll take the money.
I'll take the buck.
I'll take the buck.
I'll take the money.
And here's your host, Australia's tip-top quizmaster of ceremonies, Bob Piggerbox Dyer.
Bob, this is Mrs. Shirley Clark.
Hello, Shirley.
In our audience this evening, we have another dear friend, Jimmy Hannon. Now, Jimmy is also celebrating 25 years in television. He made his first appearance in a quiz show. As compare? No.
This is Mr. Jim Hannon of Darlinghurst, who last week successfully answered all 7 songs correctly and is back for the second round of the Melody Marathon on Name That Tune. Name That Tune is brought to you by the Australian Women's Weekly, the magazine for the whole family, bringing you news of fashion, films, and hints for the household. And here to tell you how to play the game is your master of ceremony, Bruce Gyngell.
Good evening, and here's the way we play our game. First of all, we have with us the Gus Melody Quintet, so Gus, the first song, If You Please.
Yes, again, it was Bruce Gyngell, who appears this evening, by the way, by courtesy of Il Globo. For those of you who don't read Il Globo, he does a marvellous column which he talks about Katrina and Benjamino. TV was launched and underway, with quiz shows, dozens of them. And then as now, one of its most popular features.
The Pressure Pack Company, a division of the Samuel Taylor Organization, makers of famous Mortine, present the Pressure Pack Show with Jack Davy.
It's Pressure Pack time and the Pressure Pack Show. When people try to find out what you and I know, just imagine you're here in the studio with Pressure Pack Jack and his own style, versatile, makes you smile. Pressure Pack Show.
Yes, the Pressure Pack 1,000-pound show. And there he is, Pressure Pack Jack Davy.
Hi-yo, everybody! Well, it's nice to see so many people having so close. All right, hold it. Take it easy. There's a lot of time to do the show, and I just want you to relax.
I think it's fair for me to say, as someone who's worked in television in the 50s, 60s, 70s, now the 80s, you've got to say, because of ill health, the real Jack Davy brilliance never translated to the new medium. But I'd also like to say, for those people who can remember, given his health, Jack Davy would have been one of the greatest television stars Australia has ever seen. Another man to begin in radio quizzes is today one of the most successful independent producers in Australia, Mr. Reg Grundy.
TCN Channel 9 presents Australia's biggest, richest daytime quiz show, Reg Grundy's Wheel of Fortune. And now, here's Mr. Fortune himself, Reg Grundy.
Thank you very much, and welcome to another edition of the Wheel of Fortune. We have another tied score on our hands. We've had a lot of these since we started presenting the program 6 days a week, and I'd like you to meet both of the contestants in just a minute.
Reg Grundy. It's also marvellous to have Mr. Grundy back on one of his very few visits to Australia. Interesting thing is, 1981, we have American producers now coming over with tape recorders locked away in hotel rooms, taping what he's doing. In quiz shows, contestants usually win prizes. But the late George Foster, another great radio recruit, in his quiz show tried out a reverse formula. And I want you to pay particular attention to the lavish prizes.
The privately owned Four Square Stores present The Happy-Go-Lucky Show, starring George Foster.
And welcome once again to the Happy-Go-Lucky Show. First round, thank you, Elizabeth. Now, every round is the same. By that I mean that the first round is Culture Corner, and all questions will be more or less the same. Now, I'll give you a line from a famous poem, and you have to identify the poem, Mrs. Clissold. And the muscles of his brawny arms are as strong as iron bands. What's the name of the poem, please? Don't you know the poem? You've never heard of it. Oh, goodness gracious. The village blacksmith under the spreading chestnut tree? Well, that's going to cost you your ice cube tray.
In the 50s, the accent was on short